Hello everyone on Newcastle Fans TV, it's Omar here of Citizens TV, here to give you the opposition preview ahead of our game at St James's Park. So, Manchester City this season has been nothing short of spectacular. 18 wins from 19 in the league, 17 league wins in a row and counting, hopefully. Been something absolutely stellar. After last season, which was very much a bedding-in campaign, an adapting campaign for Pep Guardiola, to see just who he wanted, getting used to the league. It's gone completely above and beyond what any City fan expected. Even people that were very optimistic of going into this campaign, like myself, it's been incredible. So let's look at our strengths first of all, and I don't mean to be too big-headed, but there are quite a few. So obviously, going forward, we've been incredible this season. From 19 games this season, we've scored 60 league goals. And we've also only conceded 12 as well. So we've got the best attack and best defence in the league right now. From that, we've actually had 341 shots on goal, 143 shots on target, and we average just under 18 shots per game. So you can definitely expect us, I think, to be in control of this match in terms of we're going to look to dominate possession. We're going to look to really have that high line and restrict your chances. So I'd assume you're going to adopt a more defensive approach, as you seem to have done in bigger games this season, and look to hit us on the break. In saying that, though, the way we play, the way we sort of dominate teams, again, I don't mean to sound big-headed, but it is what we do. We've also only conceded 118 shots in the league, which is the least by quite a distance. And we've also conceded the least amount of shots on target in the league, 38 shots on target, 118 conceded in total. Only 12 goals conceded, like I said, and we're allowing an average of just 6 shots on goal per game, with only 2 of them going on target. So you're going to have to take your chances against us, hopefully, if we play our way or at our best. Going forward, we've been incredible. The options that we've got, we're very, very privileged at City to have so many options going forward. De Bruyne has been at such a high level. He was actually ill and he'd been vomiting. He'd been ill the week before, in the week before we played Bournemouth in our last game. Lost about 2 to 3 kilos purely from vomiting, and he still put in what was a very, very good performance, even if it wasn't quite as good as his usual high standards. And David Silva as well has been typically fantastic, and they've been creating so many chances for the likes of Aguero, Jesus, Sane, Sterling, who Sterling particularly has come on heaps and bounds once again this year. The options that we've got are truly incredible, and that has been showcased this season by the fact that we scored just so many goals. I mean, 60 in 19 matches. That's an average of 3 essentially per game. So we have got threats from all different angles, really. If someone like, for example, Sterling or Sane isn't playing particularly well, we've got Jesus to come on. In fact, I haven't even mentioned Bernardo Silva as well, who's available, who has really started to hit a real purple patch of form. And we're starting to see the best of Bernard now after his move from Monaco in the summer. And also, not just going forward, because we've been guilty a little bit in recent years. The last few years have been a bit of a top-heavy side. The defence has been a weakness. Not this year, though. The defence has really, really tightened up. We've conceded just 12 goals in 19 matches. John Stones has been incredible, but of course he's out injured for this game. But Nicolas Otamendi, he improved a lot on the Pep last year, and he's continued that once again into this season. Really good on the ball. That's a very underrated trait of his, and also particularly on the ball as well. Throughout this City team, there is a really, really high level of quality. And Otamendi, though, has been excellent. Alongside of Mangala as well, I'm a big, big fan of Eliakim Mangala. Anyone who's familiar with me on Twitter or social media or on my YouTube channel, if you know about us, you'll most likely know that I'm a big, big fan of Quim, of Manga, the Rock. He's come in and actually done really, really well. Not a natural ball-playing defender, but his progression under Pep Guardiola has been really, really good to see. Pep's massively improved him amongst several other players, and he's worked really hard to improve his game. There are still, usually when he plays, 1 or 2 really dodgy passes, but all in all, he's really, really improved, and he looks as solid as anyone in that defence right now. And Vinny Kompany as well, he came back for the game against Bournemouth. Be interesting to see whether he starts this one. I'd assume he would. Usually Pep tends to give him a little longer to come back into the side, and then he'll have a nice run of fixtures. Last season he played 3 games in a week. There was a point in April where he played 3 games in a week. I can't remember the last time he played more than 1 game in a week before that. It really has been so long since Kompany had a consistent run in the side, until about April last season. Defensively really, really tightened up, and mainly I think that is down to the wing-backs that we've brought in. Kyle Walker has been sensational. We paid big money to bring him in, same with Mendy, but Walker has absolutely shown his value. We had to pay that big money to get them in, but that was a position we really needed to strengthen. Physically, guys like Sanya, Zaba, Clichy, they physically couldn't get back when we push forward, because we are going to push those wing backs very high up. But the recovery speed that particularly Walker's got is so valuable. That is a get out of jail card, essentially. It's something physically that the younger man possesses that Zaba, Sanya, the wing backs we had last season just didn't. And also a guy who I'll get on to him a little bit later, more in depth. But Fabian Delph, I can't praise him high enough this season. Not a natural left back, but he's come in and been exemplary in that left back role. Really has looked like a natural left back and has really turned it around, because he was on the fringes at City for a long time. A lot of injury problems, but Pep seems to be not only getting the best out of him in terms of on the pitch, but also in terms of off the pitch regarding injuries. He's had very few injury problems, actually, throughout 2017 and since the second half of last season, especially this year. He really looks to have found consistent patch in his career, injury-free, and this is the best Fabian Delph that we've seen at Manchester City. Enough about strengths. I suppose I've eulogised enough about Manchester City this season, haven't I? Weaknesses. Again, not to be big-headed, there aren't that many, but there are a couple. I suppose I should talk about Fabian Delph. He's probably the big weak link in the City team. Some of the highest praise you can give Fabian Delph is the fact that he's not a natural left-back, but at the same time, what does make him a weak link is he's not a natural left back. He's acquitted himself fantastically. He really has. He's done so well there. But there have been a couple of occasions where you've definitely seen some holes in the armour. For example, against Arsenal, they targeted him very early. Were really ploughing down our left-hand side, down their right. Really looking to get at Delph. And it did work a little bit, actually. In the early stages, they were able to create a few chances. Maybe not test Ederson as much as they could, but they were able to get at him a bit, get at Delph. And also against United as well. He didn't have a great game there. Looked a little bit dodgy at times. But he does seem to keep getting better. Of course, we played Leicester not too long ago. Omar only was able to do him once. In that game as well. So there are times where Delph can look a little bit dodgy at left back. So if you're going to target any City player, I'd target him. And if he plays as well, which I doubt, but if he is going to play over Company, then Mangala's probably someone you would want to target when he's in possession. I love Mangala. I absolutely do. But on the ball, he does have a tendency to sometimes make a stupid pass, just a completely stupid one, where he'll just give the ball away very cheaply. Because he's not a natural ball-playing defender. He's not John Stones. He's not Otamendi. He's not great on the ball. And the same, in a sense, goes for Company. Although Mangala seems to get a little bit sort of rabbit in the headlights if someone's pressing him. He'll panic. Perhaps if you're going to press from the front, maybe Dwight Gale, for example, someone like that, or Hostel or Jose Perez. Either one of Company or Mangala will be someone to target. The set pieces. Now, we seem to be settling down a bit when we are defending corners and free kicks, although considering that the majority of our team are quite diminutive, there's not that many players above 6 foot, that is an area that I think you could target. We haven't really got that many commanding people in the air. You've got to think Ederson, the goalkeeper, is probably one of the only few who's actually commands a presence in there. Other than that, you have Otamendi, Company if he starts, or Mangala, depending on who starts there, but I'd expect Company. Maybe Fernandinho, but there aren't that many that really command an aerial presence. So that is definitely something you can target. If you get a corner or a free kick, you could make us pay. You could definitely make us pay, because we're not great just defending corners, and we do lack a few people that command an aerial presence. So with guys like Clark or Mbemba, Mitrovic, Moreno, you definitely could make us pay with regards to defending set pieces, because we are not great in that department. But that pretty much sums up the strengths and weaknesses in Manchester City. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully I didn't eulogise too much on our strengths. If you want to check us out, Citizens TV, I'm sure there'll be a link down in the description. If you want to see more of me, I've been pretty happy recently. So if you want to see more of me being happy, then do not hesitate to check us out. Also subscribe to Newcastle Fans TV for more quality Newcastle content. Before I go, score prediction. I'm fairly confident that City will win this one. I'll say 3-1 City. If you think differently, or whatever your thoughts are, leave them down in the comments below. Thanks for watching. As always, come on City.